We are live. Welcome everybody to the WUKAR live business overview webinar for the 16th of October. It's a Thursday night at 7 o'clock here in Park City, Utah. My name is John Lavenia. I want to welcome especially our guests, people who are joining us for the first time and looking to find out what is all this buzz that's going on the web about Team WUKAR. What is this about? How are we making so much money in so little time? And of course, how you can participate. Typically, I'm one of the people that explains what we're doing here from the team and the product and the opportunity standpoint, but tonight I'm joined by two really, really cool guys who I've had a chance to meet and work with just for the first time. They both have a lot of experience, all three of us do, but we've never crossed paths before in this capacity. So it's a very special night, especially for people who are more on the internet marketing side of things. I know we've got, at this point, I'm seeing people piling in to the webinar. We typically have 1,000 to 2,000 people in that range per webinar who watch us live. So a lot of times we're talking about some of the offline strategies that we do. Tonight we're going to be talking a lot about online strategies, and we've got a couple of guys here who've got mega experience in that area. First, and interestingly, their names are Tom and Jerry. No pun intended. But first we got Tom, who actually went from literally eating in dumpsters and being a homeless guy to earning over $120 million in internet marketing, multi-level CPA, that's cost per acquisition marketing. He actually ran a CPA network. So for our internet marketing friends who are familiar with that whole method of doing business, here's a guy who's a heavyweight from that position, from that angle. And he averaged 1,100 new paid sales every day with his efforts in that area. And on the other side, we've got Jerry. Jerry Chen, excuse me, he's one of the few home business pros that has mastered offline and online marketing. Okay, so he's got a balanced approach, and he began his career in 2004, went from sponsoring exactly nobody, right? I'm not sure how many of you on the line could relate to that if you've been around other home businesses and couldn't get traction. Well, that's where this guy started, and he went from that to being one of the biggest, recruiters and enrollers in his company, putting in over 125 distributors and customers a month for 19 months straight in one of the most difficult home business programs that you could ever want to sell or not want to sell. That's, of course, Jerry Chen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to these guys. Tom and Jerry, I'm really, really excited to hear your take on this whole WUKAR project and what it means for our guests here tonight. So, Jerry, why don't we start with you?
Fantastic. Thank you, Tom, and thank you, John. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're loud and clear.
All right, perfect. Well, guys, what I'm going to do, first of all, thanks for that awesome introduction for both me and Tom. And what I'm going to do is share this graphic with you. You know, this is the famous Tom and Jerry, as you guys could see. But it's the quote that I want to share with you that I can hopefully inspire you guys to do all that you can to essentially achieve your dreams and goals, whatever it is that you want to achieve, whatever reason you are on this call for. And you might have heard that you may be able to tell the size of the man in a fight. Don't you ever underestimate the size of the fight in a man. You can see that in this tiny little cute graphic of Tom and Jerry in a sort of a Mexican standoff. And this is something that truly exemplifies my personal experience in network marketing. And seeing people in all class of life doing whatever it is that they are required to do to become successful in network marketing has been a true blessing in my life. Coming across WUKAR is one of those things that, man, I look at my own life, and since 2009, I've been a six-figure earner, if not multiple six-figure earner in this industry. And when I see WUKAR, I did a quick math in my head when I first met Matt and Christian and Jason about this project. So I did a quick math in my head, and I personally decided that if I'm not going to get 7 figures out of this deal, or maybe multiple 7 figures out of this deal, I would not get involved because I'm successful in what I'm already doing. And long story short, it opened my eyes to what it truly means to have great teamwork, to have great chemistry in developing community, and also truly marrying the online offline strategies that John has mentioned. Because one of the things that really stood out for me was over the years, even though John was gracious enough to talk about some of my small accomplishments, but those accomplishments were my personal accomplishments, and I've been scratching my head for years, just looking for a solution in terms of what I can help my teammates accomplish. And I believe that the WUKAR project allows us to truly give all of our teammates that opportunity to use their strength and allow the leaders to serve them where they stand in terms of their skill sets, in terms of their mindsets, because everybody has something to contribute to the community, and together there's nothing we can accomplish. So I'm going to hand it off to Tom before we get into the meat of this discussion here. You there, Tom? I don't know if we lost Tom. Tom was on the road, so his signals might be going in and out. You there,
Yeah, Jared,
Tom?
it seems like we've lost Tom. Oh, wait, there he is. Tom.
I inadvertently hit mute on my phone. Let me first start by potentially apologizing for being almost technologically illiterate and standing on Bourbon Street at the moment, because that's where I happen to find myself this day for the Louisiana Film Festival. So the thing that I'd like to talk about first, Jerry, is something that has me really excited is the product of Doobly is worth the money. I've had network marketing pitches. I have, it's kind of funny, I have a garage full of things. So often I get sent a case of, juice of some kind or diet pills, because, we've had the good fortune to have a fairly large list, and I've about heard it all. And 99 times out of 100, my challenge with network marketing opportunities is what I call the soap story. And would you like me to go into that, Jerry? No? John, are you there?
Absolutely, okay. Tom. Go ahead and go into that.
I hear people.
So,
here's how I sum up what I think is one of the big problems with network marketing. Let's say, for conversation's sake, that you have a 10-pound tub of soap. And doesn't matter what company it came from, although we all know which one it is. And it's a 10-pound tub of soap. And let's say, for argument's sake, that it's the best soap in the world. It'll do everything you want soap to do. And it's $40. And it might even be true that it's worth $40. But the problem is, here in America, or everywhere, I'm guessing, Jerry, you're more traveled than I am lately. As long as a 10-pound tub of soap is available from Walmart for $8, you have a big problem, because people don't necessarily make the distinction between quality. They're more focused on price. And to the extent that that's true, which I believe it is, that makes Doobly about the best thing I've ever seen, because what we're selling is money. That's what got me interested. Jerry, that alone is, why I think people are already arriving in droves. But something that makes it even better, you touched on it earlier, but I really want to put an exclamation point on it, is the Doobly opportunity is great. And the way the money flows, Jerry, I'll tell on myself a little bit, because I had a conversation with you recently, and it was, look, I'm really busy, Jerry. I know the money's good. You just help me figure it out. I don't have the faintest idea about the comp plan, but that's okay, because I know if I put people in, I'm going to make good money, and I'm sure that you can confirm that. The thing that kind of supercharges the whole affair is, inside of the Doobly network, we have the WUKAR team. And it wasn't until only days ago that I even realized what WUKAR stood for. Wake up, kick ass, repeat. I love that. And it centers around a rotator. And in my line of work, I understand a rotator to be an entirely different thing than what this is. It simply distributes leads or actions. It's a $10 piece of software. That's not what this is. What this does is it rotates responsibilities, it rotates tasks, and it allows everybody to leverage their strengths. So I'm going to tell on you again, Jerry. That is, there's kind of a philosophy that I have. I've had the stupendous fortune to be a pretty creative guy. And that has led me from, the streets of New York City homeless to, boardrooms and Morocco and the Chinese government house and lots of fun places. But I could never get there without an engineer standing next to me. And Jerry, that's you. You're a process-oriented guy who gets things done. So that's a pat on the back. And the truth is, I would be functionally incapable of doing anything without somebody who thinks process, because I'm a creative. And that's an example of partnering your strengths or partnering into your weaknesses. So, go ahead, Jerry.
Tom, I appreciate that. And guys, I'm going to assume that you are on this Hangout because somebody passed you a link to the webinar / Hangout, whatever you want to call it. And maybe they share some details with you about the specific business opportunity called Doobly or the team called WUKAR. Whatever the case, we're going to give you a snapshot of just the potential of what you're able to accomplish. And you have to get back to the person who invited you. And if that person is me, make sure you give me a call. Or if that person is Tom or John, then you get back to them. You know what Tom just talked about is so true, because when John mentioned that I was building this company that was probably one of the most difficult companies to build ever on this planet, and they're one of the biggest, if not the biggest, what I saw in that company was it's incredible how they're able to build loyalty, incredible how they're able to build consistency in people signing up and staying in, even though the comp isn't all that strong. Now, that being said, I bring that experience with me to this community, and together with everybody else's talent on this team, especially the rotator, which we'll sort of cover in a minute, I'm going to cover that. When you combine it with a business opportunity, which I believe is not only socially acceptable, but it's also socially desirable. You know what I'm saying? It's like what Tom just said. If you talk about a $20 or $40 type of soap and you want to sell that to a family, you want to sell that to a good friend, what are the chances of you converting them into a potential buyer or a teammate, right? That percentage is very low. Most people, and I don't know about you, maybe you're different because you're on this call with us, but most people that I talk to don't think like entrepreneurs. So once they get a few no's, guess what? They lose momentum, they lose faith, they lose belief, they lose that passion, and then they just quit. Okay, so the business opportunity itself is actually pretty important, because that allows the newest person that's getting started in this industry a fair shot at building some confidence and continuing with their growth. And so far, I've also seen, maybe John, you can step in. You might know some of the stats better than I do. But from my personal experience, about 9 out of 10 people would say yes to what we're doing, either as a business builder or as a customer. The company actually announced an incredible customer to business builder ratio of something like 300 to 1. I don't know if that's exact, but that's the number that I remember from the company. And on the team building side, this is where it gets really ridiculous. I was talking to Matt, and Matt was talking about how there's no less than 4 people that he tested this program with that were under 15 years old doing what we're doing in the traffic rotator. So you don't have to be smart, you don't have to have a high degree from a famous school to be able to do this. And we're talking about potentially doing several $billion in volume from thousands of merchants that we're doing a business with. So you're looking at a business opportunity that's super low resistance, that's socially desirable, that is simple to build because of our strategies. And I think best of all, there's no markup on the product. So you're not asking people to change their buying habits, because that's one of those things that's very, very, very difficult to convince people to do, is to buy a different brand of toothpaste, buy a different brand of soap. Even buy a different brand of toilet paper is very difficult for people. And so you're looking at an opportunity that's very simple to introduce to the general public. And then maybe I'll have Tom talk a little bit about the rotator, or what he means to have a rotator. And also he can talk maybe a little bit about the statistics of the money. People in internet marketing like to think in terms of earnings per click, earnings per lead, and stuff like that. I think that's something that would be better suited for Tom to explain.
Perfect. And Jerry, just to help me stay on track, I do want to, this is a night of me telling on us, Jerry. I've had a cynical statement for years, and Jerry has heard me say this a million times. And the statement is this: that when I say the word BizOp, by the way, what I'm referring to is traditional business opportunity, particularly in the internet marketing space. I jokingly refer to it as get rich in your underwear. The statement is that the thing with BizOp is that we have all of the money and none of the trust. And the thing with MLM is that there's all of the trust and none of the money. And that's usually been my statement right before I deny somebody that I'm going to work in their MLM deal. And it occurs to me just now that, well, that has been busted, because in this opportunity we have the money and the trust. Because Best Buy, you name it, pretty much if they're out there, they're on this plan. Don't hold me to that. I'm sure there's some exceptions. But they've spent billions and billions of dollars building trust in their brands, and we get to leverage that. So I was told in advance to make sure that we keep it simple. It's very easy for me to go off a cliff and just start talking statistical analysis, because that's what we do. But let's talk some simple internet marketing terms. If you're an internet marketer, you are probably running a list that you paid money to acquire, and you are judging the things that you do based on the amount of money you earn from the list. And that is typically measured in earnings per click or effective CPM. We'll talk about earnings per click. So you send an ad to your list, and if you're a beginner, it's okay. There's plenty of ways for you to build a list. This might be step 2, but it's also something for you to look forward to. When you run your list, whether it be 1,000 people, 100, or 2 million, you're looking at how much money you're earning per click. And historically, with network marketing deals, the payoff typically comes later down the road. So you recruit somebody, they recruit some people, and the money shows up, but it doesn't show up on day one. And internet marketers are mainly concerned with what happens on day one. Well, with an offer like this, it's very, very comparable. The average consumer, I'm told, Jerry, are we talking about average statistics as far as who spends what online?
So the stats that I do have is the average household spends about $10,000 to $20,000 in household goods and services and just stuff they need inside the house. And what we do have coming from the company is the average VIP customer gets, I believe, $900 in cash back from the program. So those are the numbers that we have going on for us. But I was more talking about, if we're talking about earnings per click for the actual business opportunity, What are you seeing historically in different business offers or in other products and things you have built over the years?
Well, depending on the list, and the point that I was trying to make, going back to that, is the average customer. Okay, we have rowdies driving by. Again, it's Bourbon Street, guys. So we'll just give them a second.
Can we get a visual on that? Could you, or Tom rather? Could we get a little visual?
Actually, give me about 20 seconds, and I'll show you the parade. Okay, 1 sec. Okay, you won't be able to hear me, or I won't be able to hear you for a few seconds. But we have a bike parade, and we have a whole bunch of happy people.
Hey, Tom, you gotta slow down a little bit. You have to slow down a little bit.
Maybe quiet just a little. So the point that I wanted to make, can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
We can hear you. Go ahead, Tom.
A bunch of rowdy, lit-up bicyclists. So the point that I was trying to make is when somebody buys into the they're spending considerably less than $900, roughly $100 if my memory serves me right, and that's directly comparable to standing on a street corner and handing out money. So having said that, in my line of work, what we call that is a strong offer. Typically, with internet marketers, they want to see $1. They want to see $1 per click that they generate from their list. And to be fair, Doobly is a new opportunity for me, so I'm working on pages, and I expect them to test in that range. So I'm sure that I'll share the results, and and now we have people with sound systems on their bicycles. I'm going to walk inside the hotel and see if that's any better. Okay.
Oh, way better, Tom.
Okay, good. So I expect that we'll be able to put together an offer on the customers.
We capture a good.
Say again, John?
You're
John?
just breaking up pretty bad. If you could, yes, if you can hear me, you're breaking up pretty bad. So maybe you can find a better location for the signal.
Yeah, this should be better. How's this? Is this good?
Tom. Yeah.
I hear you. Go ahead.
Don't move.
All right, good. So I expect that we'll be able to develop a customer funnel or a process that makes the numbers work for internet marketers. So if you're one of my friends in the internet marketing game, give me a call because this is worth looking at. And on the distributor acquisition side, one tool that is unique to the WUKAR team inside Doobly is the rotator. And let me see if I can do it justice, because what Matt Trainer put together is just brilliant. One of the problems with network marketing is, well, I guess this is a problem with any business, is that you're expected to wear all the hats. You have to know statistics, you have to know marketing, you have to know sales, which is different, you have to be good with follow-up. Basically, you have to be an engineer and a creative. And in my experience, that just doesn't happen in humans. So what Matt Trainer put together is what we call the rotator. What I call it is a miracle, because people get to do what they're good at and win. And here's what I mean. Say you're good on the telephone, and maybe not so good at gathering leads or gathering people to talk to. With the rotator, it distributes out results, and people put in their efforts. Now, Jerry, you can make sure that I'm explaining this right because you've been at this a little longer. They're putting in their effort, and they're getting the fair result back. So you can be a one-hit wonder. You can be great on the phone. You can hate the phones and still succeed. There's a few people out there like that. Whatever it is, whoever you are, you're good at something. And you can leverage that into success. Did that sound, did I cover it about right, Jerry?
Oh, absolutely, Tom. And one of the things that I feel strongly about over the years, especially now, is people have the heart, people have the desire to succeed. Because you gotta understand, I come from the background of traditional, like super old school traditional network marketing. It's like grinding. Gosh, it's like pulling teeth, okay? It's like grinding, it doesn't even do it justice. It's like pulling teeth. It's like slow and painful. But what I do have going for me through that experience is I would share, I would share a meal with people's families. I would sit down with them. I would see where they live. I'll go to their living rooms and they'll cook for me, and I get to see their kids. I'll get to see their family and all this. You get to see people of all shapes and sizes and in all backgrounds. As an example, in this project, I have people who are single moms that that's just super fired about this project because she feel that she can contribute. And in fact, we actually just exchanged some tips today. Her name is Danica, and I also have a mega successful business owner. His name is Jarvis Cho out of Japan, and he's just super fired up as well. Building, his background is in investment banking. He used to work for Accenture. He does ERP software. He has people who built billion-dollar companies working with him. His companies, he's got offices in Singapore, in Hong Kong, in Taiwan, and in Japan, and now he's going to offer me a potential partnership to work with him here in LA. He just joined us too. I mean, there is a little bit of action for everybody. Now, back to my point of going to people's living rooms and all this. I see people. I see what they're struggling with. I see what their strengths are. And just because you're a single mom or you're a billionaire or whatever, you still have some of the same dreams and struggles and desires and all this. And in the way we're structuring our team and our business, we solve just about everybody's challenge, right? Everybody has a role to play. Everybody has something to contribute to the team. You can be an event producer. You can be somebody who's a great writer, somebody who's just a hard worker. Maybe you don't have a specialized skill, but you can watch a video, right? You can learn where to copy and paste, how to type. I mean, literally push button stuff that we can show you step by step on a video in terms of what to do within a project, and you can earn credits in exchange for a sign up in your business, either as a distributor or as a customer. That is something I have never, ever seen before. I mean, I guess the best case scenario that I have ever seen before, prior to WUKAR, is people can buy signups, right? They can write a check to buy the signup. But what that does is it still causes people not to duplicate or cause people to somewhat be lazy because they feel like they can just buy it, right? So with what we're doing, we're allowing people to work, okay? Put in honest work to grow their business. And that is something that I think is super unique, and it also breeds a good culture within the community because you're not telling people to just write a check and just sit there and wait for money to come in. You're telling people to put in honest work in exchange for results. And I think that's a beautiful, beautiful model.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry, yeah, Jerry's about to grimace in a second because I just had a thought that was not on our notes, Jerry, but trust me, this is worth saying. It occurs to me that we're talking to two types, well, we're really talking to three types of people here. We're talking to the internet marketers who may have come because they knew my name and yours, and they want to hear about internet marketing. But really, I want to talk about two other groups. Those are people that are in a deal, a network marketing opportunity, who aren't very happy. They're not seeing the results. They're not seeing the money. They may or may not be putting in the effort. They're just not inspired. And we're also talking to another group, and I would like to address those people. Those are the folks that have never taken a chance. They might have bought some business opportunities. They might have bought a get rich in your underwear product. If they did, thank you. There's a 1 in 3 chance that it bought for me. But I want to talk to the people who are experiencing the prospect of starting their own business for the first time. and it's I want to expand. I want to expand just a little. I was at an event recently, and I have people calling my phone. I was at an event recently, and I met somebody who essentially didn't know anything about anything. They came to the event, and they didn't quite know what was going to happen. And I've been operating at a different level. Whenever I do something, I have my team go do it, and that's what we do. And I started giving this person advice, and they did something that blew my mind. Blew my mind. They didn't have a dime. And when I said, well, go out and try this, that's usually my way of ending a conversation, to get rid of somebody. Well, this person went out and did everything I asked. And it was just so impressive. And I need to give credit where it's due, because a very large percentage of the people on this call right now are here as a result of Danica Anderson's work. And she's brand new at this, and it's inspiring because she's just out there doing the thing. And if you're on this call thinking that there might be a little bitty chance that you can, step up and start your own thing, trust me, it can be done. I mean, that's my mini rant, Jerry. Hope it came out good.
That was
Jerry?
awesome, Tom. I'm here. Hey guys, I want to kind of show you where I'm sitting, because Tom showed you where he was sitting, and we all know where John's sitting is. John is sitting in front of his very famous bookshelf that I've seen like a million times, which is awesome. I would love to go visit his house and grab a couple of books from his shelf and just read them. I'm actually sitting.
You know what, Jerry? I've actually had people wondering if this was a green screen, if this was like maybe not a real bookshelf.
Can you grab a couple of books?
Real
Oh
books.
my gosh. and look,
Go ahead. You were saying?
Like, where I'm sitting looks like green screen in the background.
Yeah.
I'm actually sitting on top of the 51st floor on the City National Bank building in downtown LA. This is where I do my work. And I just going to turn the camera around so you guys can see. This is just the wall. What I have is the wait staff, a burger, some steak, some veggies. There's a TV right there, TV monitor if I want to use it. And then here is the grand prize of all. You get to see the skyline of downtown LA. I don't know if you guys can see that. But anyway, so this is where I'm sitting. And, you can be walking down Bourbon Street in New Orleans. You can be doing work here in downtown LA. You could be sitting at home. You could be anywhere as long as you have a phone or a tablet with internet access and you understand what we're trying to do here. Everybody wins in this project, literally. We can jump on to a browser to quickly show you the interface of the business opportunity we're talking about in terms of Doobly. This call isn't designed to give you a thorough tour of the business opportunity at all, but I just want to instill a little bit of hope in your life in terms of what you can do, okay? Because we are about a true team. And teamwork, okay? Teamwork is about doing nothing less than your personal best. And your best is enough for us. And that's what's truly awesome about what we're doing is do your personal best for the next 90 days. You are going to see some truly amazing things happen in your life. I don't know if we plan this, John, in terms of showing what Doobly is about, or do you have something quickly that you can throw out on the screen just to show people quickly how Doobly works?
Oh, yeah, certainly. Let me go ahead and do that. You guys, no problem. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. And this will just be a quick tour for people who have no idea what we're talking about with Doobly. Jerry, can you confirm that you are, in fact, seeing a screen share, and it's a website called Doobly.com?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, very good. So this is Doobly.com. I'll go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. What we've got here is a customer portal. So what is in it for the customer? Well, first of all, we're doing business in all countries of the world, bar none. We do have dedicated what's called shopping malls here in these countries. We've got Russia and Italy, and the United States is even in there. And what this is all about is giving the customer a way to get paid to travel, a way to get paid to shop, and to get coupons and deals, and they can sign up for free, and it takes about 10 seconds. Big fonts, very easy to click on, shiny buttons, very, very simple. Inside the travel portal, what kind of cash back can people get? Well, let's say that we go to Priceline, right? Here we go, Priceline. We can get up to 11% cash back as what's called a VIP member. There's the Best Western, Hotwire, Hotel Club, and on it goes. In the shopping mall, Tom mentioned that we have thousands of stores, thousands of affiliated companies, some of which have literally gotten to multi-billion-dollar status. Here's Best Buy, right? Here's, well, it's Halloween time here in the States, right? So here's Halloween costumes, 14% off. Right now I'm talking to you on an Apple MacBook Pro. So let's see what we've got here. We've got the Apple Store, right? 7% cash back for a VIP member. PCM, PC Richard & Son, and on it goes. There's PetSmart. I can get my dog food. There's Walmart. I can go shopping for groceries, whatever I want. And the cash back amounts are very robust. Look at this one here, 23.5%. Right? So this is significant money. Now, how this all works for the customer, if we just go back to the main portal here, they sign up, they shop, they get cash back. Right here, these 3 steps, that's as simple as it is. And we go here and we can look at a little bit of an estimator of how much cash back can Mr. and Mrs. Customer get this year. Well, if we keep these numbers really conservative, let's say we'll only do a couple $1,000s a year in travel, we certainly don't spend more than $2,000 a year on all of our shopping, and utilities, including what do we got here? Gas, electric, telecom, finance, insurance. We've got State Farm. We got Allstate. We got AT&T, and on it goes. Skype is even in here, right? So I live on Skype. I'm on Skype all day. So if we just said that we're at about $6,000 for the entire year for stuff that we're buying anyway, as a free customer, I can get $295 cash back based on the averages of what's happening right now inside the portal with the existing thousands of merchants that we have in here. As a premium member, $551. As a VIP, $679. So once again, you can see this is a very robust cashback program. Free is, of course, free. A premium member that wants additional benefits pays $495 a month, and they get the Doobly prepaid credit card. That's a real MasterCard. They could show up at an ATM and get cash in their fist, okay, and that's post-tax money. So we're talking about money that they already spent on their online purchases. Now it's being rewarded to them as cash back onto their credit card. And if you want to go for the gusto, a VIP member for a whopping $99 a year, just like with their Buyers Club programs, Costco, what have you, not only do they get an additional 6% cash back monthly, they also get the prepaid debit card, and they also get the customer referral program, where now, if you see right up here, they can earn cash. So Mr. and Mrs. Customer can refer other customers, and when they buy the VIP program, they get $20 as a cash reward, just like if they referred someone to DirecTV or what have you. Okay, but what really clinches the deal here for somebody like me, when I look at this and I think, well, what's the problem with cashback programs? Well, it's the same problem that any cashback program has had. One is trying to get people to remember that they have a cashback program, which is easy to forget when it's only 1 or 2% cash back, right? Like people sometimes get a 1% cash back from their credit card or their airline or whatever. Here we're talking about, as you saw, right, very robust cashback amounts. The other thing is attempting to change buyer habits. So what this company has done, they brought on the chief technology officer, the guy who actually programmed Bing for Microsoft. So there's a lot of Microsoft people behind the scenes here, and they've created what's called a toolbar where Mr. or Mrs. Customer can go to Google, and without thinking, that's the point, Jerry, that's the point, Tom, without thinking, they can go to Google and they can say, I want a Halloween costume today. They search for a Halloween costume, excuse me, they search for a Halloween costume, and what do you see right here inside of Google? Up to 14% cash back from HalloweenCostumes.com. Right here is Doobly marketing to my customer. I can go to the store right here and get up to 14% cash back as a VIP, but let's say I'm just a free member, and I know that I'm about to go spend a lot of money. I can upgrade right here. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you can really see this. I can upgrade right here, right from Google, and upgrade to a paid membership. Okay, now we see this is also occurring in the advertisements. These are the Google AdSense or however they do it nowadays with their sidebar advertisements, right? So here we have Target competing with buycostumes.com. Which one is going to give you more cash back? You see this? This is right inside Google. Let's say I decide to go ahead and let's visit that store. Again, I'm not thinking. I'm just going to the store. And up here on top, you see the Doobly toolbar says, hey, get up to 14% cash back. Click to activate. And now everything that I buy today in my visit to, where are we? HalloweenCostumes.com. So I want the dragon outfit, and sell me this girl in the pirate suit. She looks cool, right? So cash back, right? 14%, and it goes right into my cash back wallet. If I go here and look at my account, I can see just in the short period of time that I've been using the Doobly service. Oops, I got to log in. Just in the short period of time that I've been using this. Hold on. Remember password, please. Okay. So here I am. I'm activating the cash back. And just in the short period of time that I've been using this service as a customer, again, I didn't even know that this company was in business until a couple of months ago. I remember this company from years ago. It's been around for 11 years, publicly traded company, okay? But they were doing completely different business models. They had wacky auction programs and stuff like this. Bottom line, it didn't work out. They had to restructure themselves, which they've done within the last 2 years. But here I am as a customer. I've gotten cash back from the merchants. I don't know if you can see this. It's kind of small, $58.08. Again, I'm a new customer, and I'm not a big online shopper either. I'm a very frugal kind of person. But here's the membership cash back, $79.22. I'm at $130, and I'm just getting started with this. And I've still got another 10, 11 months to get my money's worth out of that big $99 I spent as a customer. This is just the customer stuff. Now we get into the business opportunity, like Tom was talking about.
Hey, John.
I could show you my back office if you think people would like to see that, but it's pretty robust. Go ahead, Tom.
Hey, John. I'm sorry. I want to stop you because I've learned something that excites me, and I was excited to begin with. The people that buy the membership and then refer it. I'm curious, is that something that we can see in our back office, the people who generate referrals?
Yes, as the Tell a Friend program is for VIP customers, not business reps, but VIP customers to refer other customers and get the $20 kickback. But once that referral fee has been made, that's the end of the transaction. That customer compresses to you, the business builder, who enrolled that first generation of customers. And that goes unlimited generations deep. All of it compresses to you, and you will see that register.
Understood. John, this is going to be a completely random statement, but because I'm hanging out in Louisiana talking to some movie stars and production people, there's a term called the third wall. And it's a random thought. I'm going to break outside the third wall, which is when you're in a movie and they, step out of the shot and you can see the cameras and whatnot. Anyway, Jerry, let's make a note, and we're going to do this for everybody that we work with. Let's make it a process where people scan their back offices for those referrals, because those are reps in the making. So that's worth saying out loud, because that's going to be a feature that people are going to get soon. Because if people are out there referring for $20, they'll probably refer for more money. Having said that, John, one other thing, and then we can talk about the business opportunity, is I want to put an exclamation point on something you said, because in my line of work, people pay a lot of money to have professionals work on their conversion. And I want to point something out, that even if somebody signs up as a free customer, you can bet your bottom dollar that the people who create that upgrade path, in other words, you get 14% if you upgrade now, that is being tested 8 ways from Sunday to make it really effective. So you can, as an online marketer, my dreams are comprised of how to automate earnings. And that's something that you mentioned in passing. That's a really big deal. So I'm sorry. Sorry to take it away from you, but let's talk about the business opportunity.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's a tremendous point, and it's a point of leverage, which you brought up originally when you were talking about combining different disciplines and different strengths into what is now known as the WUKAR team. Um, I don't know how to do what you do in terms of like CPA marketing and stuff like that. I'm an author, I'm a philosopher, I'm a public speaker, I'm a guy that stands on stage and runs my mouth. Okay, so that's what I do. Jerry's got the ability to do things that I don't know how to do. Matt Trainer, who's the guy who spearheaded all this. By the way, Team WUKAR is right here, as you'll see. It's Wake Up, Kick-Ass, Repeat, as Tom mentioned earlier. And we've got a Millionaires Club promotion that's going on right now. We can talk more about that later if we have time. But the point is, we've got some real heavyweights in terms of marketing. And what is the main thing that marketing or so-called network marketing companies and so-called network marketers lack quite often, like almost always? Well, it's marketing, right? I mean, I've been at enough network marketing conventions to interview enough people and ask them what kind of marketing they're doing, and they look at me like a deer in headlights, like they couldn't define the word. And I don't mean to be critical or condemnatory. I think I'm just stating the obvious. Marketing is what's missing for most home business. So here we've got so much marketing muscle that people can finally leverage their strengths with the strengths of others. That's how you get the leverage. Develop your strengths, manage your weaknesses with the strengths of others. So that's what we've got here with WUKAR. But Jerry, did you want to talk about Doobly Network? Because we've covered Doobly. Okay, so here's Doobly. Now on the business side, here's what the customer doesn't see. Here's Doobly Network. Okay, so did you want to take this, or would you like me to explain?
Well, John, I think for the sake of time, because we don't have I don't think it's not even necessary to go into comp plan and so forth, because that would take another like 2 hours, if you will. So if you could just touch on very briefly, what the network site is about without going into the specifics of comp plan and all that, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's absolutely. Well, I don't know how to explain the comp plan. People ask me, how does the comp plan work? And I say it works very well. I can demonstrate that on the inside. But here, just a little bit about the company. We've got the board of directors, because I like to know who I'm working with, because like probably many of the people on the line right now, I've been around mismanaged companies, underfunded companies, etc. So right here we've got Blas Garcia Moros, 15 years in Microsoft. Okay, brought Microsoft to Latin America. We're talking about a billionaire for Microsoft here. Michael Hansen, who we just spent time with a couple weeks ago in Dubai. We had dinner at his house, and we were all there at the Armani Hotel for the International Summit. He's the founder and CEO out of Denmark. He's also the guy who put the Star Wars line of Legos together, and he's made billions in the real estate development markets of Europe and the UAE. Lester Rosenkrantz, he's the guy behind all the investing. Again, this is a publicly traded company on the OTC market, and this company is shooting for NASDAQ, right? So these are big players. This isn't your network marketing deal of the week. Okay, these guys are looking for what's in it for the shareholders and that may be you, right? If you're a person who likes to bet on yourself, so to speak, right? We're here to grow this company and to put it into the largest consumer market in the world, America and beyond. Okay, so here's an 11-year-old company that hasn't even gotten traction in the United States yet. Now, if we go ahead and we log in, which I'll go ahead and do now, this is my back office, and I do have to disclaim because you're about to see money, okay, and whenever we're talking about, hey, you can make money, we also have to say, and by the way, it's not guaranteed or typical. See the income disclosures at the bottom of the website, the policies and procedures, and all the regulatory compliance stuff that we are, obviously, we need to comply with. So we go ahead and make this a little bit bigger so you can see. This is my back office. This is a summary of what I've done so far. And again, I got started here 8 weeks ago. So the first time we ever opened our mouths about this opportunity was the 14th of August. So right now it's the 16th of October. Here's what's happened in 8 weeks. I've made it to what's called a vice president rank, if you see this little crown here. I've personally enrolled 77 people. So this is what's called a front line. Anybody who's in network marketing understands what a front line is. Okay, 77 people. I opened it up to, I said I was looking for five people who want to run with us. I had 15 like within the hour. Now I've got 77, and at this point, here's the duplication. 1,354 people on my team. So what's that? 17 times duplication. My friends, if you've ever seen this before, please let me know. I've never seen this before in my life. So this is a breakthrough. is what this is. And once again, vice president is a pretty high rank. There's only one rank higher called senior vice president. And when you reach it, they build you a house on Grand Cayman Island. So instead of having a car program, we've got to here have a house in a tax-free jurisdiction. Thanks for helping out. So here's payouts. And again, results not guaranteed, results not typical. I'm not typical. Hopefully everyone watching is not typical. If you're a consumer, we've got the consumer stuff on Doobly.com. This is Doobly Network. This is for business builders. Here's my first 6 weeks. Okay, so these bottom two numbers here, if you see 8,000, 23,000, that's August. September, my first full month, $92,396 in September. And if we go to my earnings, this is October so far. It's the 16th. This is before bonuses, which are about, in my estimate, it's going to be about 60% on top. So I'm at 67 grand so far for October. I still got half a month. Let's say I wrap it up with $130 at 60%. I'm on track for 180 grand in my second full month in the business, and we haven't even launched our systems yet.
John, I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
First, I want to be me and say, Danica, here's the guy to beat. Having said that, I'm just being playful, John. You're a public speaker, right? And I'm a scientist. And I have a question. Have you done network marketing before?
Yes.
Okay, good. So would you say that your efforts are, if you separated the fact that you've done network marketing before, if you were just doing the public speaking business model, and we won't go into that, so what I'm really doing is talking to public speakers, would you say that the earnings have been greater than, less than, or average for what you would have made just for public speaking?
No comparison. Look, I've often said to people who are interested in writing a book, hey, John, you're a published author, give me tips on writing a book. And I'm like, well, one of the least profitable things that I've done is spend a year writing a book. So as you know, and I know it's probably a bit rhetorical, but no, getting speaking gigs and writing books and the whole publishing business, still 90% of that whole show is marketing. It's not even about how great is your book. I was on a conference call with Jack Canfield, and he said, you write a great book, that's 10% of the work. If you're not going to market it, throw it in the dumpster. Who cares how great it is? Right? So here's a guy who sold over 100 million, chicken soup for the soul books and all this. So no, there's no comparison. The money is in the marketing. Yes, I've got some experience both on the failure side and the success side of the network marketing. And I'm not a big-time network marketer. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I just came here and brought a downline of 10 million people. I didn't. But you've seen already 77 people have signed up with me. Jerry, you could crush that number, right, with your experience. Jerry has sold stuff that I could never sell, right? So anyway, there's my point. I hope I'm making the point that you're looking for, but I wouldn't call myself an expert networker.
I want to point something out, and this is fuel for a future call, John. Is you've no doubt done back of the room type public speaking, and I'm only going to define that as the speaker only gets paid what he sells in the back. So you've no doubt done that. And this would be a strong model as a speaker. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we've got one of the guys on our team here is a full-time public speaker, and he's at this point seeing this as his freedom or exit strategy or flexibility. I mean, he's a family man, and living on the road kind of sucks after a while. So yeah, this is no comparison. In the public speaking and publishing world, it's like eat what you kill. Oh, next month you start at zero again, right, and all that. Here, my goodness, I haven't signed up the world, and yet look at the result. So again, that may not be typical, but that's what I'm experiencing.
Yeah, and it's worth underlining because this is for people who do things, and they're lucky, and typically luck is the amount of action you take. But John, I want to mention this, and the time is running short. We might not be able to expand, but what that is evidence to me as a scientist that this offer has made the jump into actual viability, which I've never ever seen in a network marketing deal. That wasn't in the in our notes for tonight, but I'm saying it out loud because I'm excited by that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You know,
I'm excited too.
earlier,
Are you excited?
I am more than excited, but look at my face. You know, I got to know to my face how much I'm excited about this opportunity. My background is in engineering, so sometimes I tend to be a little bit more analytical than the rest. But see, here's what I want to share as a closing comment. I believe that vision is tomorrow's reality expressed as an idea today. And this idea called Jubilee, this idea called WUKAR, were visions by some extraordinary entrepreneurs, and we're making it happen today. So I would like to offer a piece of my opinion that if you're watching this video either live or as a recording later, please ignore any preconceived notion you have about the person who invited you, because I think that's the biggest problem with our industry is the people who are invited to calls, the people who are invited to meetings that prejudge the people that invited them because they've had a history with those people. You know, you've been friends for a while, you know, he's your brother or sister, and you don't see them as entrepreneurs. None of that matters because network marketing is an industry about people doing work together. I don't speak like John at all, you know. I mean, John is a pretty funny guy, and I try to be funny sometimes, but, you know, if a few people laugh at my jokes, I feel extremely happy, right? I mean, it's one of those things where, gosh, if you overestimate other people's talents, like mine or John's or Tom's, and you underestimate your own, you're making a big mistake. All right, so take the information we share with you for what it's worth. Get back to the person who invited you. Again, try to erase as much of the preconceived notion you have about those people as you can. Erase any preconceived notion you have about network marketing as much as you can. Look at the facts, look at what we're doing, review this video, understand where we're going. The numbers John showed you is before we even officially launch our system. And that's crazy. That's literally crazy. And if you remember the stats that John shared about my past, just remember this. That was my personal stats. And what I strive to do, and what we all strive to do with WUKAR, is that every single person can get that type of results and beyond. You want 125 new signups a month. You want 125 new signups a day. That is a possibility. And I'm not even exaggerating this. That is a possibility. And so with that said, I would like to hand it to Tom and John for some closing thoughts.
Guys, John, do I have two, 3 full minutes, or how are we doing on time?
Yeah, you've got 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. So I have a couple of things, and there's so many that I want to say. It might just come out of stream of consciousness. First, I want to tell a story, and it's a story about a diving board. So I learned a lot about life when I was 11 years old at the lake in New Jersey where I grew up. And this lake had a diving board on it. And one summer day, I decided I wanted to learn how to do a flip off the diving board. And for hours and hours, I was a fat kid, by the way, I would run off the diving board and jump and decide midair that I couldn't do a flip. And I would land on my back or my belly. For hours I did that until this one time that I stood on the diving board and I said, Tom, here's what I know is going to happen. I know you're going to run off diving board. You're going to do it. And then one of two things will happen then. You will decide that you can't, and you will land on your back or your belly, and it hurts. Or you will decide that you can, and you'll do a flip. Either way, the downside is be prepared to land, to land on your back or your belly. Well, I decided that I'd rather do flips instead, and we all know how this story ends. I've been doing pretty good flips ever since. As you're listening to this call, you're at this point. You're on this call for a reason. Something is telling you to step up and go do something. I heard a quote recently, right? And this is kind of strong. It might hit some people right between the eyes. But if your dream is to help people, and don't do this just for the money. You don't have to, right? It wears out. Trust me. I've been homeless. I've been rich. when I was on the streets of New York City homeless, my reality was if I ate, it was a good day. I've experienced realities where, okay, really quick story. I know what it feels like to be served by the personal servant that came with our $2,500 a night room, chicken McNuggets off of a silver platter. That's a different reality. So the quote is, again, stream of consciousness, that's what you get with me. Every day that you don't pursue your dream is spiritual suicide. Now, for my closing statement, the last thing that I want to add is somebody referred you to the call. Somebody, cared enough about you, they're, motivated by helping you, by money. It doesn't matter, because what you get when you come into WUKAR, hey, I don't know about Jerry, but my personal consulting rates are $1,000 an hour. You get my help. I mean, I'm going to be out there doing what I do, which is creating pages that convert, and I'd like to say I'm pretty good at it. I'm going to be working for you. Jerry's going to be bringing his, engineering and organization skills to you. So it's not just the person that referred you, it's all of us. And that's what I got.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you, Jerry. Let's go ahead and wrap up with that, and I'll tell you what, I'm inspired just hearing you and knowing where you came from, both of you, knowing where you came from and what you've accomplished and what's coming to Team WUKAR behind the scenes. So for our guests, if you'd like to participate, down below this video there'll be a button where you can go ahead and join. It'll bring you to the join page of whoever invited you here. Virtually all of us have gotten started as what's called a Team Leader Accelerator. There's also a smaller package called the Team Member Package. So go ahead and choose one of those. If you got any lingering questions, definitely, as Jerry said, get back to the person who invited you here. They'll get those answered. In the meantime, thanks for joining us. I'm excited to have shared the stage for the first time ever with Tom and Jerry. A very auspicious night. You saw it here first, ladies and gentlemen. And for all of our members, we'll see you in 3 weeks in San Diego, California for the official launch of Team WUKAR and the big announcements of the systems and everything that's going live on November 7th. Thanks again, Tom. Thanks, Jerry. We'll see everybody next time.
Thanks all.